fans saying there's only one Tyson Fury, and you liked it, so you decided to copy it. Listen, I've beaten men like you time and time again.
It's going to go through your chest like cough medicine in the middle of the night.
Doesn't matter.
It's going to tingle through your hips.
It does tingle. I've been hurt before, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about going hurt. You can't land it. You ain't got a skill.
It was bizarre. I do admit it was bizarre. What we're talking about is BT Sports version of HBO Face Off with Max Kellerman. That's what we know it of here in the States, but over there in the UK on BT Sports, it's called Face Off. And then I believe for Sky Sports, it's called The Gloves Are Off, right? Yeah, The Gloves Are Off for the Sky Sports version. They're usually really good. This one, Wilder and Fury have become very, like, cringy. You know, it got to the point where it's like, okay, all right, we know that y'all really don't have any genuine animosity, that y'all really don't hate each other. But in the case of this, I say maybe they should have released this a little closer to the fight, because coming off of the press tour, you know, the press tour just was, you know, don't get me wrong, the London part was good. Then when they got to New York, the entrances was good. Then it started getting like homoerotic. When they got into LA was okay. LA was a lot better, but still, it just, you know, we've had a lot of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder the last like few weeks, and especially the last couple of months since the fight was announced. If you haven't heard, there's so much shit to talk about. Eddie Hearn has sent the offer to Tyson Fury. Okay, let me tell you this. The IBF and the WBO mandatories are going to be due. They're going to be due for that April the 13th date. You don't think the IBF and the WBO are looking like, oh no, we know you want to fight Wilder and Fury. I mean, Wilder or Fury, but you got a mandatory you got to take care of, especially with the IBF. So Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn and Anthony Joshua, they know this, which is the reason why they have sent an offer to Tyson. They know this. So they're trying to sign up the winner so they don't have to deal with the politics and possibly a purse bid with either Dylan White versus Brian Jennings, and that would involve Top Rank Boxing and ESPN. And when it comes to Kubrat Pulev, whoever he's with, if he's still with Solomon Promotions, then them. So they've already said that they wasn't interested in Tyson Fury. Remember, this is what Barry Hearn said, and Eddie Hearn said. We covered that in a previous video. It's crazy. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not here to take sides. I understand when it comes to YouTube. You know, and I'm going to say it in as many videos as I feel like it, and my colleagues on YouTube, because we all work on YouTube. So even though I may not agree with their practices, we're still all doing this shit. I'm not, you know, like throwing shade at Eddie or throwing shade at Wilder Shot or whatever. I just want to see the fight. However, you know, it's good to see that Hearn and AJ are budging in regards to a percentage. How much of a percentage would Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury get? That remains to be seen. Nonetheless, UK fans and Anthony Joshua fans, they are getting annoyed. You know, I really think it's the casual fans. I can't believe that there's any hardcore fans that are saying that they don't want to see this fight happen. Meaning that they're like, you know what, Joshua's selling out selling out stadiums. You know, we don't need Deontay Wilder. Listen, he may not need him in regards to Deontay Wilder's resume is not better than him, but he needs him. And eventually, you know, Wilder can do probably about 3 more. He can squeeze out 3 more fights. But the pressure, here's the thing, the pressure is not really on Wilder anymore. It's on Anthony Joshua. And I understand, like I said, covering Joshua and Wilder and Fury and all this, it's not a pleasurable experience for me because of all the fanboy shit and all the thirsty shit that goes on with it, you know? But however, my job is to report the news. People have been also wondering if Tyson Fury is going to be taking Vada drug testing. Here's what he said. It's just a brief clip.
Tyson, I was told that neither fighter in this case is enrolled in either Vada or USADA, and I was just kind of wondering why that was.
Yeah, I'm enrolled in Vada and USADA.
Oh, you are?
I'm on a whereabouts program as well, so I have to tell the World Anti-Doping where I am for an hour every day so they can come and see me. UK Anti-Doping.
So he's saying that, he's going to be training up in Big Bear, by the way. Listen, if you don't think they're going to test him, like a motherfucker, he's training up in Big Bear. He's training here in the States. They're going to test, what's that on my face? They're going to test the shit out of him. So, let's hope that, if the fight happens. Wilder's had issues with 3 opponents failing drug tests. Deontay, Alexander Povetkin, that Walzer guy, Luis Ortiz. So we just have to hope that in this case, this fight goes through and both of these fighters have too much riding on this, It's too much riding on it. There's going to be 2 episodes of HBO, not HBO 24/7, All Access that we know of. I'm actually going to talk about All Access in a separate video because there's a lot that I'm expecting from it, and I hope that, they don't. Oh, there we go. I'm hoping, that we get like a real good look inside of the training camp of Tyson Fury up in Big Bear. I'm talking about, listen, since HBO was out of the picture, I want to see Showtime really step that shit the fuck up. Like in regards to this right here, I know BT Sport is going to be doing something, but in regards to this program right here, I wasn't happy with it.
To land from your feet.
You ain't got a skill to land it.
You ain't never felt
Definitely
like mine. And you're going to have to show the world everything you said. That's why you have to be careful, because your words are powerful. What you say out into the universe, it will manifest.
See, this is when he becomes Pastor Wilder, when he starts preaching and making up words and shit. I mean, I like it. He's gotten so much better on the microphone. If that's going to be his shit, then, like preaching and shit about fucking you up, then I'm cool with it.
What you say will come to pass. But how it comes, you never know. This is not your time. Your time may come, but this is not your time. You may think it's your time. You may feel like it's your time. But it's not your time, Tyson.
That's definitely Pastor Wilder. Definitely Pastor Wilder. I mean, the zone is not, like doing bad. Anthony Joshua's still the number 1 in heavyweight. He's still the number right now. He's obviously the number 1 ticket seller in regards to the UK. But Canelo still, and Eddie Hearn said it during a boxing voice interview. Canelo is massive. He's selling 1.1 million pay-per-views at $85 a pop. Let's go look at this, though. I would have loved to see this contract, though. So they this says right here, they would love to have Tyson Fury April, May 2018. That necessarily doesn't mean Joshua, though. Not a bad offer from the worst. That's crazy. Let's see some replies. Wilder's good, he's dangerous, but if you don't fight number 1 Joshua, how can you be number 1? It's like this. Being the lineal champion does mean something. It does mean a lot. I'm not shitting on it in any way, shape, or form. But to convince the world, you need those belts. Tyson Fury's still unbeaten. He did beat Klitschko when Klitschko was active. Joshua beat older coming off of a layoff, and I know people are going to get, I know that little, sand is rising up into your vagina and you're starting to get real agitated. But, Klitschko, it was his last fight. Even though the Tyson Fury win was nasty and ugly, still, he won. He beat him. When nobody thought he would. Anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I'm counting on All Access to save the day. Because maybe it's because of the press tour and everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hyped and I want to see the fight. We're still waiting on information on the undercard. We do know that it's going to be Adonis Stevenson versus Alexander Grovesdick on that same day on Showtime, on the regular Showtime, not pay-per-view up in Canada. But in regards to everybody else, we've been hearing about from Gervonta Davis versus Abner Maris to Keith Thurman being on the card to Peter Quillen versus Winky Wright 2, the return of Jared Swift Hearn. They're still putting it together. So I can imagine that they're going to do a press conference for that too. Frank Warren will probably throw some fighters on there, but who? Keep O'Hara Davies, whatever the hell he's at. For real. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.